Over a dozen countries from Central America, North America, South America, and the Caribbean have been invited to participate in the Central American Security Conference. The 2 days conference also has representatives from the Conference of Central America Armed Forces, Central American Integrative System (CICA), and senior leaders from the U.S. State Department, U.S. Northern Command, and the Center for Hemispheric Defense Studies. It is one of 3 regional security conferences sponsored by the U.S. Southern Command held under the theme Counter Illicit Trafficking, Strategy, Objectives, Implementation, and Resources. During his opening remarks, Commander of the Belize Defense Force, General Dario Tapia, explained that Belize is not spared from the illicit trafficking.
For many of our nations, illicit trafficking is a major threat to national security, and in Belize it is no different. In fact, we strongly view it as an issue that is eating away at the core fabric of our society. And therefore, the government of Belize is putting a major emphasis and priority in addressing this ill before it is too late.
Also speaking at the opening ceremony was General Douglas Fraser, the commander of the U.S. Southern Command. According to General Fraser, the region is a focus for the U.S., and the conference will give participating countries an opportunity to learn from each other.
Our focus, as all of you know, is on the issue of transnational criminal organizations and the illicit activity that they conduct. Unfortunately, it is impacting each and every one of our countries. And so I look forward to sharing our viewpoints, sharing our operations, and what we are seeing and the impact within our individual countries, and discuss how we can work more closely to address this problem.
And while the problem is regional, here in Belize, General Tapia says that the country is tackling the issue from all angles.
We have even gotten more involved in Belize City because of the illicit activity that goes on within our own country. And so it is a major threat to our national security. We recognize it, and so the government also recognizes it, and we are putting more efforts in trying to address the issue of illicit trafficking. However, because it's transnational in nature, we need the cooperation of many of the nations that are here today represented in this conference.
Would you say, General, that the local crime that is happening, the killing and the guns that we find on the street, is a result of what you guys are discussing today?
Well, as I mentioned, we don't produce arms in Belize. It has to come from somewhere. And certainly, as I mentioned, small arms trafficking is also an issue for the region. It's not only Belize that finds itself with lots of small arms. There are countries that also don't produce, and they have a problem with small arms. So it is a major threat, small arms trafficking, and that is why I think it's essential that one of the key things of this forum is for us to be able to share information and be able to tackle the issue of small arms trafficking. And so I think that is one of the key areas that we can also address it.
Are you looking at other countries to try to adopt certain strategies that they have in place and implement it here in Belize?
Well, certainly, as General Fraser mentioned in his opening statement, we're here to learn from each other, to see what has worked for a particular nation, and see that if we are able to adapt something or share, how they make it work in their country. And I think any lessons learned from other countries that we can adapt here in Belize, I think we are willing to adapt it as well.
But even with the U.S. trying to cut spending due to the global recession, it has committed $200 million to the region to tackle such illicit operations.
There will be an impact, and again, I don't know the amount. The focus, and the President was here and dedicated $200 million to address this effort next year, and that's a one-year number. It remains a very significant focus for the United States as well as other countries, but it really points to the real key. There is, again, not one country and not one solution to this problem. We all have to use our resources to focus on the problem, communicate what we are doing and how we can coordinate better so that in working together we address the problem and don't look for just an outside solution. I think there are inside and outside solutions, and it is us working on an international basis that addresses the problem.
The conference takes place at Cocoa Beach Resort and will end tomorrow. This news report is sponsored by Grand Belize and Estate Limited. Reporting for Love News from San Pedro Town, I'm Jorge Aldana.